Olá, muito bom dia. O meu nome é Joana Vaz Teixeira, eu trabalho no departamento comercial da Apicaps e gostava de vos dar as boas-vindas a todos a este webinar sobre o mercado de moda na Coreia do Sul. Este webinar está a ser organizado pela Apicaps em parceria com o CENIT e com o apoio da AICEP. O objetivo deste webinar é partilhar com as empresas portuguesas destes setores que a Apicaps e CENIT apoiam, partilhar informação sobre o mercado da Coreia do Sul, ajudar as empresas que queiram expandir os negócios das empresas para a Coreia do Sul, dando-vos mais informação sobre o mercado, sobre a indústria da moda, sobre como funciona o retalho. Para isso, temos aqui um grupo de oradores especialistas no mercado coreano, pessoas que vivem, trabalham e desenvolvem a sua atividade no mercado coreano. Iremos ter um painel de oradores muito interessante. Eu, muito brevemente, vou apresentar toda a gente e depois vou dar a palavra aos meus colegas oradores. Faria apenas duas notas. As apresentações vão ser fundamentalmente em inglês. Vamos tentar deixar algum tempo no final do webinar para perguntas e respostas. Portanto, se entretanto forem surgindo algumas dúvidas, sugiro que vão escrevendo aqui na caixinha das perguntas e respostas e depois no final tentamos responder. Se não houver tempo, depois faremos offline. E gostaria também de então apresentar-vos quem são as pessoas que estão aqui connosco. Iremos ter agora já de seguida o Hélio Campos, ele é delegado da ICEP em Seul e vai-nos dar aqui um welcoming e umas palavrinhas sobre o mercado da Coreia. Depois passaremos para a Laura Vols, uma consultora que já tem muita experiência no mercado coreano e vai-nos partilhar com ela alguns dos insights possíveis. E de seguida teremos a Wijin Shin, da Associação Coreana da Moda, e de seguida Yoon Choi, da empresa LF Corp, da divisão de calçado. Portanto, temos aqui muito potencial para o webinar e sem mais demoras, eu iria passar para o Hélio e pedir então se nos dizia algumas palavrinhas. Obrigada.
Obrigado, Joana. Muito bom dia, boa noite a todos. Antes de mais, gostaria de expressar o meu profundo agradecimento à Apicaps, ao CENIT e aos oradores convidados, que vão trazer muita da experiência sobre o mercado coreano a este webinar, por terem aceitado o desafio lançado pela ICEP de organizarmos conjuntamente este webinar sobre o mercado de moda na Coreia do Sul. Esta colaboração alarga e reforça o espírito de cooperação que existe entre as nossas instituições, demonstrando um compromisso conjunto em apoiar as empresas portuguesas no caminho da internacionalização e no acesso a mercados estratégicos. A Coreia do Sul é, de facto, um mercado estratégico para as empresas portuguesas e, particularmente, para a indústria da moda, que tem registrado nos últimos anos um crescimento significativo. Esse dinamismo resulta não só do interesse crescente das novas gerações, mas também da consolidação da Seoul Fashion Week, que se afirma cada vez mais como uma referência para o mercado asiático. Este contexto cria uma oportunidade ímpar para as marcas portuguesas que procuram internacionalizar-se, valorizando os atributos que já são reconhecidos neste mercado, como a qualidade, o design e a inovação. Os números confirmam esta tendência. As exportações portuguesas de calçado e de vestuário para a Coreia do Sul têm mantido um percurso assinalável, crescendo ano após ano, e também em 2025 esta tendência não fugiu à regra, com crescimentos médios de exportação na ordem dos 15% a 20% relativamente a 2024. Este desempenho demonstra que a excelência da produção portuguesa é reconhecida pelo consumidor coreano, abrindo caminho para a consolidação e para a diversificação da oferta portuguesa neste mercado altamente competitivo. Importa salientar também que é um mercado exigente, marcado pela permanente procura por novidades, pela rápida adoção de tendências e por um consumo culturalmente específico, que exige das empresas portuguesas uma aposta constante na diferenciação, na inovação e no investimento a longo prazo. Não se trata apenas de vender produtos, mas de construir experiências e narrativas que se conectem de forma autêntica com o consumidor sul-coreano. É exatamente neste sentido que iniciativas como este webinar assumem especial relevância, fornecendo informação estratégica, promovendo o conhecimento das particularidades do mercado e facilitando o contacto com parceiros locais. Estas ações tornam-se ferramentas decisivas para apoiar a presença das empresas portuguesas na Coreia do Sul. Convido, portanto, todas as empresas aqui presentes a aproveitarem ao máximo esta oportunidade para aprofundar o vosso conhecimento sobre o mercado coreano e a explorar as potencialidades que ele oferece na internacionalização das vossas marcas e empresas. O vosso sucesso terá, sem dúvida, o nosso sucesso. Muito obrigado.
Obrigada, Hélio, muito obrigada. Eu iria então passar para a Laura. Laura, can you please share some insights about Korea with us?
Yeah, hello. All right, so I'm gonna share the the presentation. Can we see?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Please, can you, oh, 1 second. Okay. So, all right. So thank you so much. Good morning in Portugal or good afternoon, and here is at night. So thank you so much for your time to joining. And you might wonder who I am. So my name is Laura Valls Alvarez. I'm from Spain, not too far. And I've been in Korea as 17 years, and I have worked helping foreign companies to enter in South Korea for all these years. So I think I've been experienced what it might be something about Korea that might be a little bit daunting, or sometimes it look not like a common sense, and sometimes it's not. So I know why, in the first hand, why some international brands break through Korea and why others they leave disappointed. So today I will share with you lessons from real cases about cultural insights, and then I want to share with you 3 quick fixes that can dramatically improve your results when you approach Korean buyers. So this is not theory. This is something that I've been generating 300 million euros in cross-border negotiations. And I talk with so many suppliers, many companies in Europe, and I work with many conglomerates in South Korea. So, and the 3 tricks that I'm gonna share with you is something that I have experienced and I've seen myself with Portuguese companies in South Korea. So you can connect with me here, right? So the challenge, why we think that Portuguese companies, they fail or they are not satisfied with Korean market. So obviously Portuguese brands, they have craftsmanship. This is not questions. Buyers admire the leather quality, the quality of the brands, the designs, the construction, the value for money that Portuguese brands offer to Korean market and many other markets. But why this don't happen? Why happen? You know, not many people actually ask why this happens. I'm not really why. So because when you approach Korean, they are not just thinking about shoes. They are evaluating within you understand what they are looking for in the market, and if you are a good partner for them. So they can see if you are a ready supplier or ready brand. So from now on, I'm going to say ready supplier when I talk about brands and suppliers. So ready supplier or not ready, because you might have noticed and you will notice that be ready in Korea is everything. It's 100% being ready. So what is the common mistakes that we can see, and I've seen in Portuguese companies, you know? For example, there is 4 mistakes that I see. Wrong size. First of all, this is wrong size, you know. So, for example, the sizing in Europe and the sizing in many countries around the world that you might be supplying, that you might have living, is not same in Korea. So, for example, I've seen in the shoes. Let's say, for example, I focus in this presentation in the shoes. In the shoes, the woman average foot is rather small. So, you know, it's a little bit like, you know, like 37, 36, 37, 38, which is around 230 to 250 millimeters range. So first of all, you need to think about the conversion and also the half sizes. So 230, 235, 235, 240, 250, 40, 45, right? And this makes a huge difference because I even notice when I buy, you know, some brands is this, some brands is that. So that's show that you care about the market. You produce it or not is another thing that you can offer or not. And then unclear brand story. I know some of them you have a brand, some of them you might be a supplier of other brand, but at the end of the day, the projection is that people just not buy shoes or clothes or brand. They are buying a life identity. It's a lifestyle identity. Europeans, we care a little less about this, but in Korea is everything. So your story need to connect to be visible. So if your story that you supply to some company is not connecting, and this company is not connecting at the same time with the buyer, let's say wholesaler here who will be importing the product, then you are not visible. It's as simple as that. So, and then also something that I have experienced in first is in Korea, business move very fast if they're interested. So I experienced no reply or very late reply. So when you already reply, the buyer already move on, has already choose another competitor who already were interested and supply faster. So it's very, very fast. In my case, I did actually follow up to Portuguese companies. I never, ever, ever get any response. So I will please beg you, please do a follow-up, and one is called the follow-up, okay? And then the pricing in euros, this is a problem, okay? We are going to Korea, so Korea use the Korean won. So if you say, Mira, this is in wholesale 20 euro, you need to think about how much is 20 euro in Korean won, and also it will be appreciated if you actually think about the logistics. So for example, you are going to do CIF Busan or warehouse Seoul. How much is this thing? How much per box, per kilo? However is your measurement, how much is that? And you need to say in Korean won or in US dollar and euro in reference. Okay, so this is very important. This is typical, looks common sense, but it's not common sense. Okay, so I'm going to share what is the Korea market snapshot, So Korea is one of the most trend-sensitive, design-aware, and fast-moving consumer markets, I would say in Asia, and I would even say in the world. It's the most trend-sensitive. You can make a trend in a matter of a week, and your product will die in a month. Okay, so it's really fast and it's trend-sensitive and design-aware. So we need to know the consumers, right? So the consumers are style-saving consumers. So they know already European brands. They follow the trends, but they know exactly what they want and what they expect, something unique. So you need to follow this. They already know the brands, they already know the trends, and they're looking for something that makes you unique. And usually what you think is unique is not the unique they think it is. So don't assume, just ask, make questions, ask, make them talk. This is something I can tell you. Comfort-driven decisions. Koreans, is a consumer that they spend so much time walking, commuting, and shopping. So you need to think, okay, my shoes or my clothes, are they comfortable after wearing it 12 years? Are they comfortable after wearing your clothes all day long? Can we wear again? How much is the wearing like fair away, the quality, right? So for example, made in China doesn't last a season. Everybody knows that. So how much your goods, accessories, how much they last. This is very important. And discovery channels, right? So the right placement matters. Premium department stores like Lotte, Shinsegae, or digital platforms like Musinsa are kingmakers. And the key word here is kingmaker. You need a kingmaker, that one that will work tirelessly to make your brand visible and help you to be visible. You can't rely on the distributor importer to do all the job. You need to help them, but they are the kingmaker. You need to find who is your kingmaker. So don't make a choice of who is your importer distributor at first sight, just because they are showing interest about your product. All right. So the message in this slide is very clear. Koreans are willing to pay premium prices, but only if your brand fits the identity and lifestyle. And that's your job, to whatever is buying this and make it as like a OEM or white brand or whatever, that should like a pass on transfer, through the supplier chain until to get the lifestyle and something unique. That again, it might be something you think is unique, is not what Koreans will think is unique. So I want to share a case study that I try to find something that is known for us in Portugal as well, and also very popular in Korea, and it's camper. And when I share camper, it doesn't mean I like it or have anything about it. It's just a case of success and why success, so you can see very clearly what it means. So let's take camper. It's Spanish, and it's this kind of quirky Mediterranean creation. And in Korea, it's a premium thing. It's a lifestyle brand, right? So you will say, so how they achieve this? They entered in Korea in 1999 via premium department stores, no outlets. So you might think, yeah, but this is 1999. Why you say premium department store? Today we are in 2025. What apply and what was be popular again? The method to enter in Korean market is exactly as today. Okay, so premium department store, no outlets. It's true that we can find camper in outlets, but outlets is not what Western we Mediterranean people understand as outlet. It's just like an additional channel. Outlet you will find maybe some other season, past seasons, but not like Italian outlet, in diving so many times. They look like it, but they are not outlet. They are a second channel. And then consistency of identity. They never camper, never ever abandon this quirky, comfort-driven philosophy. They have this same philosophy, and every year the designs they look the same. They change a little bit, but it's the same, right? So they have been there all the time in the same line, the same philosophy, the same quirky. I don't know. They have very interesting style. So, and then in 2018, they make a collaboration with Other Error. And this is not a very discount campaign, it's a cultural bridge. Other Error is a sort of cult, okay? So you need to choose how you're going to do this collapse. The Other Adore is Error is a cult, kind of cult group, okay, of very famous fashion people, but you don't know their name. And they put out there something that is disruptive, something that is unique, something that is, like camper, quickie, and they promote those. And then it becomes like a trend maker. So this is what this collab looks like. So what they invested, right? So actually, if you buy camper in Spain, it's kind of cheap, but in here is premium. So they're not, so again, Koreans, they're not looking for lower price. They're looking for to invest because they camper offer comfort, clear identity, and cultural respect. And this is the actual vision that you should be translating when you come to Korea, when you talk to somebody by email or in your presentations or any materials that you send. So why camper did the 4 things, right? So again, premium distribution in the right stores, consistency in the brand DNA, local cultural collaboration, you find another one, and ergonomic design for daily wear. That things, both of them, they should be applied to any kind of category in the fashion industry, and then in the Korean eyes, this is trustworthy of a partnership because it means that you will carry on year by year by year. Something that Koreans, they don't like to change suppliers. They like when they have one, they like it and exploit it to maximum. So what we can learn from camper, that Korean buyers aren't price hunters. They look for value perception and comes with 3 things: comfort, identity, and cultural bridge. Okay? So I'm going to give you what you can do. It's like a small checklist that I have prepared, that when you apply, when you go to a trade show, for example. And I will tell you, this one will change the eyes of Korean people because they already know, okay? Then they will tell you, and they will actually praise you for that. Size readiness. Have sizes prepared. When it comes to shoes, for focus on woman, 230, 250. When it comes to clothes, think that in Korea, we still have a lot of free size, which is 555, and then they say 66. Those are 34, 36. Now Koreans, they are bigger, so let's move on into 36, 38. That would be the key core sizes for clothes. And then the gadgets, for example, components, leather, whatever, they like anything. So the sizes should be fit in something that you can wear in a small box, or very big or very small. Then Korean pricing sheet, always put the prices in Korean won. If you want to put the euro, but always the equivalent in Korean won. And please make sure that you have the FDA documents. This is something that, when they actually import, they have to pay less. So they need to present the document. It's a sentence in the logistics. Anyway, this one is very important. Make sure you're aware of it, and you can tell them, we have prepared this, blah, blah, blah. they actually appreciate it. And again, as I said before, logistically, if you present the prices export, it doesn't mean anything. You need to think about CIF Seoul, CIF Busan, that is included, and then they can figure out the rest more easily, and then you will fit into ready or not ready. And then 20-hour follow-up, and that will change your life, I can tell you that. Send materials in Korean via Kakao Talk within 24 hours or via email, okay? Do not wait until when I come back or anything. Just send them the same day, and then it's done. And then 1 week later, 1 week later, 4 days later, you can send a reminder, okay? So, yeah. So that's the checklist, and then I'm finishing already, okay? So, yeah. So in Korea, the first impression set the tone, exchange cards with 4 hands and a bow, ask for the customers not to buy their shoes, never offer discounts in the first meeting, never ever, and follow up in 24 hours. That would be something that I think is very meaningful, and it could change the prospecting when you come here or when you send an email to them. And that it will be all for today. So thank you so much, and I'm happy to receive any questions or strategic approaches if somebody would like to.
Thank you, Laura. Very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm sure everyone is now thinking about some of the things that you said. Thank you. So moving on to Wijin Shin from the Korean Fashion Association, and we will have the help of Mr. Jali for the translation. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Junam Lee. I'm the organizer of Portuguese Shoes Showcase in Seoul, but today I will interpreting Ms. Shin's presentation. 이사님 시작하시죠.
네네. Hello, I'm Hee-jin from Korea Fashion Association. 오늘 저는 대한민국 소비자가 누가, 왜, 어떻게 패션 제품을 소비하는가에 대해서 짧게 말씀드리도록 하겠습니다.
Today I will present how Korean consumers why and how to spend fashion items in Korea briefly.
지금 화면이 제가 안 보이는데?
지금 1페이지로 갔는데 안 보이세요?
네.
Joanna, can you see my PC screen? Joanna, because Miss Shin is saying that she can't see my PC screen. Do you see my PC screen? 이제 듣나요?
네.
예. 이사님 이제 보이시나요?
네네네.
예.
잠시만요. 제게
예.
파일이 날라가지고.
예.
죄송합니다. 지금 보시는 것처럼 대한민국의 패션 산업은 3만 개 정도의 사업체와 13만 명의 종사자, 협력사를 포함해서 토탈 19만 개의 사업체와 44만 명의 종사자가 있습니다.
I'm sorry for the delay of the screen. As you see in the presentation, in Korea we have totally 190,000 companies and 440,000 employees, including 30,000 fashion manufacturing companies with 130,000 employees with 52 billion euro of retail market.
지금 오른쪽에 보신 화면과 같이 코로나 팬데믹 때는 전체 63조 정도의 시장이 지금 현재는 85조 정도의 소매 시장으로 성장을 하고 있습니다.
As you see on the right side of the graph, during the COVID-19, the whole market has increased by about 10%, with 80% of the portion for apparel is about 80% of the total market, and another 20% for shoes and bags.
네, 지금 말씀 주신 것처럼 전체, 그래서 올해 같은 경우에는 저희가 85조 전체 시장 중에 신발과 가방이 16조 정도, 그리고 의류 시장은 70조 정도의 시장 규모를 가지고 있습니다.
Yeah, as I already mentioned, I'm sorry for the numbers of the market value, but it's about 52 billion euro for the whole market, and again, 80% of the total market is for apparel, and 20% is for shoes and bags altogether.
네, 다음 페이지. 지금 한국 시장에서 대부분 젠지 세대들이 좋아하는 브랜드들은 거의 패션 디자인의 디테일한 요소라던가 아니면 좋은 소재를 믹스매치한 부분, 그리고 봉제가 잘 되어 있는 한 단계 업그레이드 되어 있는 프리미엄 컨템포러리 카테고리의 브랜드들을 사랑하고 있습니다.
So at this moment, the brands which is very popular in Korea is for mostly MG generation, which have a very detailed design and good materials and excellent sewing and nice branding story. So these factors are making them to the next level. So we call it a premium contemporary brands.
지금 그 캐주얼 시장에서 제일 각광받고 있는 브랜드는 마땡킴, 마르디 맥크르디, 마르떼 프랑스와 저버 같은 브랜드들을 한국에 오시면 아마 살펴보시면 좋을 것 같습니다.
In Korea, the most popular famous casual brand is we call 3M, Martin Kim, Mardi McCurdy, and Mardi François Jober. I think if you come to Seoul, you will see this brand. And just one more thing is Mardi François Jober is actually a French brand, but they have very nice licensing business in Korea. So these 3M brands are very successful in Korea.
이런 한국에서 유행하고 있는 브랜드들은 일본 또는 대만 등 아시아 시장에서도 같은 인기를 있는 브랜드로 시장 조사를 하시면 좋으실 것 같습니다.
So these strong local brands, they are very, very successful in Korea, but at the same time, they are getting very popular as well as in Japan and China. So these are key factors when you research the market in Korea.
오늘 이제 본격적으로 말씀드리려고 하는 그 페이지 말씀드리도록 하겠습니다. 지난 저희가 그 한 3,500명 정도의 소비자를 대상으로 어떤 패션 제품을 어떻게 어디에서 구입하는지 부분에 대한 조사한 결과를 보고서에 근거해서 말씀드리겠습니다.
These are main pages of today's presentation. Recently, we had a survey for almost 3,500 consumers to see how and where and which categories they are spending their money to consume fashion brand in Korea. So I'll briefly make a report for the survey.
일단 왼쪽에 보시는 그래프는 그 패션 제품을 구입을 할 때 본인이 착용하는 목적으로 패션 제품을 구입한다라는 부분이 72%를 차지를 하고, 그리고 가족이 착용하는 패션 제품을 구매한다라는 부분들이 한 24% 정도로 대한민국 소비자들은 나를 위한 제품을 구입하기도 하지만 지인이나 가족을 위해서 구입하는 부분도 큰 비중을 차지하고 있습니다.
As you see, it sees the graph in the left side. About 30% of the consumer, they are consuming fashion products for themselves. But at the same time, about 27% they are consuming the products for their families and for their the people that they know. So these are also very strong marketing point in Korea.
네, 그리고 오른쪽에 보시는 그래프는 전체 83조 정도의 패션 제품 구매액을 보았을 때 복종별로 캐주얼복이 22조, 한 27% 정도로 가장 큰 비중을 차지하고요. 그 다음이 신발 12조 원, 그리고 스포츠복이 10조 원 순서로 나타나고 있습니다.
As you also see in the right side, the graph shows that the proportion of each categories of the fashion item. So the biggest one is casual unisex is 27%, and then the second bigger one is shoes, about 15%, as you see on the graph.
그리고 그 외에 아웃도어복 시장이 8조 정도, 그다음에 남성복, 그리고 가방, 지갑, 그리고 기타 잡화 순이고요. 그리고 한국의 그 출산율이 너무 낮아서 유아동복 시장은 2.2% 정도에 해당하는 1.9조 원 정도의 마켓을 가지고 있습니다.
And another biggest category is outdoor, which is almost 10%, and another 8% for bags and wallets, and then menswear and women's wear. And I'm regret to say that because of the very low birth rate in Korea, the market for children is very, very little in Korea. It's about 2% at the moment.
네, 5페이지와 6페이지는 대한민국은 지금 봄, 여름과 가을, 겨울이 뚜렷함에 대한 소비 현황을 볼 수 있는 표인데요.
And the next page, this page and the next page, it shows that the consumption a trend for each season, SS and FW, because in Korea we have very significant 4 seasons.
앞서서 말씀드린 것처럼 캐주얼, 그리고 스포츠, 그리고 가방, 의류, 요 순서대로 봄, 여름, 가을, 겨울에 대한 매출 비중이 거의 비슷하고 가을, 겨울의 제품은 조금 단가가 높기 때문에 한 17조 정도 차이로 금액 차이가 나는 거를 데이터에서 보실 수 있으십니다.
As I earlier mentioned, the unisex and sports and shoes, these main categories are the biggest consuming factors in Korea, both for SS and FW. And as in FW, because of the higher unit price, FW market is about 10 billion euro is bigger than SS season.
네, 다음 페이지 보시면 이제 저희 대한민국의 패션 제품을 그러면 누가 제일 많이 사는가 이 부분에 대해서 말씀드리겠습니다. 연령별로는 일단 40대부터 50대가 전체 소비의 중심축을 차지하고 있습니다.
This page shows that who mainly consume fashion products in Korea. At first, age by age, the biggest age group is 40s and 50s.
그 대부분의 소비 트렌드 보고서를 보면 젠지 10대, 20대들이 구매력이 높다라고 하는데 40대, 50대의 부모님 카드를 이용한 부분이 작용하지 않았나 생각을 합니다.
If you see another market trend research in many countries, it says that the biggest consuming age group is teenagers, but in Korea is still 40s and 50s because we assume that in Korea, teenagers, they are using their parents' credit card. So we have something different result in Korea.
네. 네, 그리고 성별적으로는 남녀의 총 패션 제품을 소비량은 유사하지만 여성이 특히 가족을 위한 구매 비중이 높다라는 부분을 확인할 수 있습니다.
For gender difference, actually, we can see that the similarity in total consumption for men and women, but women have a higher proportion of purchasing for their families than men.
네, 그리고 연령대별로도 구매 목적이 뚜렷하게 나뉘는 부분을 상세 보고서에서는 확인할 수가 있는데, 여기서 저희가 조금 알 수 있는 건 남성은 본인을 위한 구매 비중이 높고, 그리고 여성은 가족용 구매를 많이 한다라는 부분이 조금 대한민국의 가정적인 부분이 조금 특별한 상황일 수 있을 것 같습니다.
Again, we can see that the difference between each different group of ages, but still for gender difference, this is the biggest different factors that men have a higher portion of purchasing for themselves, but women, they are consuming the products for their family members.
그리고 복중별로는 캐주얼복에서는 전 연령층에서 고르게 소비되는 것을 확인할 수 있었고요. 그리고 골프웨어 같은 경우에는 고소득층 중심으로 많이 구입을 하는 대한민국 특성이 있고, 그리고 최근에는 코로나에 비해서는 골프웨어 시장이 많이 작아지고 있습니다.
So for every generation, casual clothing is the most popular categories for fashion item. And for golf wear, this is the people with a high income, they consume most of the fashion item in golf wear area, but apparently this trend is decreasing.
네, 다음 페이지는 시즌별로 소비 패턴을 좀 말씀드리려고 합니다.
This is the consuming trend for each season.
대한민국은 봄, 여름, 가을, 겨울 4계절이 있는 나라여서 3월부터 5월은 봄 시즌으로 소비가 가장 활발한 시기로 전체 소비 규모의 약 29조 원이 발생하고 있습니다.
We have four different seasons, and the spring is from March to May. And this season, the consumption for fashion is most active, and the total amount, the proportion of the total purchasing amount is about it's about 35% of total consumption.
그리고 여름, 가을은 이제 기후 변화 때문에 이제 그 계절에 대한 그 경계가 조금 많이 모호해지고 있어서 여름에는 조금 전체적으로 구매량이 감소하고 있고, 가을에는 봄과 유사한 소비 구조를 저희는 나타내고 있는 것으로 조사되었습니다.
And because of climate change, now in Korea, the summer and autumn is not clear. So in summer season, the total consumption is decreasing, and in autumn season, the consuming trend is very similar to spring season recently.
그리고 겨울 시즌 11월 말부터 내년도 2월까지에는 저희가 제일 많이 소비를 하는 시즌인데요. 구매 건수는 작지만 단가 상승으로 총액이 높다라는 것을 확인할 수 있고, 확인할 수 있습니다.
So the winter starts from the end of November to February. And this season, the number of the purchase is not big, but thanks to the high unit price, the consuming amount is the biggest one in 4 seasons.
그리고 패션, 대한민국에서는 이제 계절별 아니면은 반기별 분기별 어떤 이벤트 요소를 마케팅 쪽에서 많이 이용을 하고 있습니다. 그래서 봄, 가을에는 봄에는 이제 신학기 제품에 대한 구매가 많이 일어나고, 뭐 어버이날 뭐 이런 이벤트에 관련돼서 마케팅과 제품을 이렇게 진행하시는 경우가 많이 있어서 참고하셨으면 좋겠습니다.
In Korea, we have very strong marketing points for each seasons. For example, in spring, the new semester for children is starting, and we have Mother's Day and Father's Day in May. So if you want to do some marketing activity in Korea, please refer to those marketing activities in Korea.
네, 마지막 장표가 제일 중요할 것 같습니다. 그러면 대한민국의 소비자들은 어디서 패션 제품을 구입할까?
Yeah, this is the last page, and I think this is the most important information to you. It shows that where the Korean consumers are consuming the product, where they purchase the product in Korea.
오프라인과 온라인의 매출 비중, 그러니까 소비 비중이 거의 비슷하다고 보실 수 있습니다. 대한민국은.
proportion.
근데 특히 오프라인 같은 경우, 네네.
하세요. 예, 말씀하십시오. 예.
먼저 하셔도 될 것 같아요.
Yeah. So in Korea, the proportion for offline and online is very similar to each other. It's about half and half.
특히 오프라인 같은 경우에는 백화점과 아울렛 대형 매장을 선호하는 부분을 확인할 수 있습니다.
In offline stores, Korean consumers, they prefer large stores like department stores and outlets.
그리고 백화점이나 아울렛의 이제 오프라인 공간에서 패션 제품을 이제 보고 어떤 제품이 있는지, 내 사이즈에 맞는지 피팅하는 개념으로 쇼룸 역할로 오프라인 공간을 많이 활용을 하고, 거기에서 이제 직접적인 구매는 온라인 채널을 이용하는 경우가 대한민국에서는 아주 많이 일어나고 있습니다.
In many cases, Korean consumers, they go to offline stores like department stores and outlets, and over there they check the products, see the products, and they test it, fit it. But when they purchase it, many of them they purchase it in online.
그리고 온라인에서는 티네이저 10대들이 56% 이상이 온라인 채널을 이용해서 패션 제품을 구입하는 것으로 조사가 되었고, 그 50대들도 온라인 채널 이용하시는 경우가 40% 이상으로 연령대에 상관없이 온라인 채널을 제일 많이 이용하고 있습니다.
So regardless of age, online market is getting bigger and bigger. For teenagers, about 56% they are buying in online, but also for 50s, 40% of them they purchased the product in online.
그리고 온라인 채널 중에 복종에 따라서도 조금 차별화 포인트를 볼 수가 있는데, 저희 한국의 대표적인 쿠팡이나 이런 오픈 마켓을 통해서는 이너웨어나 액세서리를 온라인 채널에서, 특히 오픈 마켓에서 더 많이 구입하고 있는 부분을 확인할 수 있습니다.
So the categories, we can see the difference for each categories for online sales. For example, innerwear and accessories, many of them, they sell these products and people consume these products in online, especially in open market.
그리고 제일 왼쪽에 있는 거는 앞서 강사님도 언급해 주셨던 무신사 페이지입니다.
So the left picture on this page, this is Mushinsa. The previous speaker, Laura, also mentioned about them. This is the biggest online retailer in Korea now.
이 무신사 온라인 플랫폼에는 현재 8,000여 개의 패션 브랜드가 입점되어 있습니다.
In their platform, Mushinsa, at this moment, they have almost 8,000 fashion brands in their online platform.
그래서 20대, 30대의 남성분들은 거의 대부분 무신사에서 패션 제품을 구입하고 있습니다.
So almost of all men in their 20s and 30s, they purchase fashion items in 무신사 online shops.
그럼 20대, 30대 여성복은 어디서 구입을 하나? 중간에 있는 W 컨셉이나 29cm와 같은 플랫폼에서 구입을 많이 하고 있습니다.
For women in their 20s and 30s, they purchase their products in another fashion platform like W Concept or 29 centimeters, which belongs to 무신사 now.
그리고 그러면 40대, 50대 여성복은 어디에서 구입을 할까 보면은 퀸잇이라는 또 플랫폼이 있습니다.
But women in their 40s and 50s is quite different. They purchase fashion items in another platform, Queenit.
그 40, 50대 여성분들의 남편의 의상을 많이 구입을 해주고 있어서 퀸잇의 남성복 매출도 같이 성장하고 있습니다.
And in Korea, women in their 40s and 50s, they also purchase menswear for their husband. So in this platform, they also sell menswear, and it's quite successful.
그 대한민국 특히 서울의 패션 소비자는 전 세계의 소비자에 못지않게 매우 까다로운 감성을 가지고 있다고 생각을 합니다. 그래서 이제 포르투갈의 좋은 브랜드들의 한국 시장을 공략을 하실 때 패션을 단순히 뭐 제품을 파는 게 아니고 대한민국 사람의 삶을 이해하는 부분이 매우 중요하다고 생각이 들어서 오늘 패션 제품이 왜 어디서 어떻게 구입하는지에 대해서 짧게 데이터를 근거로 해서 말씀을 드리고 싶었습니다. 이상 발표 마치겠습니다.
In Korea, as Laura, she also mentioned about this, the Korean consumers, they are comparing to other consumers in other countries, they are very tricky and very difficult consumers. So today, I just want you to understand Korean consumers and fashion market, and that's it for my presentation today. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Eugene. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Without
Thank
any
you.
further delays, I would ask Yoon Choi from LFLG Fashion Corporation if she can share some more information about the footwear market in Korea. Thank you.
Of course. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
Amazing, amazing. Give me 1 second. All right, great. So hi, everyone. I'm Yoon. I'm so honored to be a part of this event, and it is really great pleasure to meet everyone here. I mean, I cannot really see you on screen, but I think that you can hear me clearly. And yes, and then I'm currently working at LF Corporate as a director leading the footwear division. So you might not familiar with LF, but we used to be called LG Fashion. So you probably understand where we are from. So today I just wanted to, walk you guys through the overall Korean footwear market. I will touch on product category and distributions and price and consumer and women's specific, footwear. And last but not least, some key takeaway from the today presentations. So I know that we don't really have much time, so I'm just going to really quickly go through, some of the, market overview. So let's begin with the really overview of the Korean footwear market. From 20 to 21, the market recovered strongly, showing 7%, 6.4% growth after a sharp decline in 20, which we all assumed the COVID. Since then, the growth has been stabilized and steady increasing between 1.7 point and 4% expected through 25. So by 25, Korean footwear market is projected to reach about $6.3 billion US dollar. Sorry, I didn't really know that I have to really the currency, but this is really US dollar base. So representing 4% year-on-year growth. And then long term, the CAGR between 25 to 30 is expected to range between 4.3 and 4.5. So when we double click on, what kind of footwear shapes are actually percent of the breakdown by category. So as you can see, the sneakers dominate the market. I have to change the canvas to more woven materials. So fabric materials sneakers are almost 30% of revenue, and then the leather sneakers is another 23%, and together making up more than half of entire footwear market. Other key segments include the casual comfort shoes is 14%, and dress shoes at 13%, and fashion sandals is 9%, and then all the rest which is like golf and boots and sports specific footwear, remain is really niche. And I think that in summary, Korean footwear market is really moderately growing with sneakers and casual comfort, dominating consumer preference. I think that this is a really key highlights on this slide. Moving on to the product category. So I think that I feel like you probably hear a lot of like comfort sneakers. So I think that firstly, sustained strength in sneaker and casual shoes. So very much like popular sneakers models, like major brands, Nike, Air Force One, Dunk, Jordan, and New Balance and Adidas has really continue their strong performance in 24 and 25 as well. And then you can see continually declining formal shoes. Demand for formal footwear is really surpassed due to the economic slowdown, and at the same time change in work environment. The casualization changed everything. I think COVID also simulate all these changes even further and more. And then I think that also really focus on sports and outdoor leisure footwear. The sports segments within broader fashion market is really projected to grow by approximately 3.9% in 24, which really emphasizing performance in outdoor category. And then the last, I think I have to really touch on the functionality and eco-friendly. Eco-friendly is not the prioritize actually in this marketplace. However, the global trend, mandate the adoption of feature like breathability and lightweight materials and recycled sustainable material as well. And I'm just going to really quickly go through distribution and retail updates. So first, we see continued expansion of online presentations. I think all this, presenter actually mentioned on online. I think it's not just Korea, but I think I just want to highlight is that Korea is faster. And the changes really, the pattern of change are very dramatic. So I think the Korean footwear market is rapidly shifting from the offline centric to online. And this trend is aligned with the overall growth of e-commerce across the fashion sector. I think this is really general, but again, we are very much like details, and I think the developed are pretty much, the detail of the developments are pretty much depends comparing to other country and regions. Secondly, the brands are strengthening their direct-to-consumer D2C strategy. They're really making greater effort to engage directly with the consumer through online direct sales and integrated offline on to offline, and then this really helps the brand build a strong relationship with their consumer. And then third, offline store are really evolving. Rather simply serving as a sales points, I think they are becoming really experimentals and experientials and brand really sensory spaces. This really transformation is the respond to the factor online shopping has become the norm. And so offline channels now focus on more unique experience. I think that's really the key. Finally, in department store, I know that department store environment is a super important in Korean marketplace, but there are really interesting points shift here. So with the traditional footwear such as classic leather shoes and taking up actually less space, retailers are decided to give more spaces to casual comfort brand. So brands are like Echo, Camper, and Obas, and then the other gaining more presence in this channel. I think that's the key thing. So classic shoes is gonna be a bit less presentation, and then more with the comfort and performance brands. I think I have to also touch on the price. I know that we are. I think it's depending on which ages and genders or what are their the purchase power. But I think it's just a really general idea is that fashion market in Korea is really facing low growth. Price sensitive is everywhere environment. So the projected growth rate for 24 is really slow and slow growth. So this really makes consumer high sensitive to price changes. Secondly, value for money and functionality are becoming more important than ever. Consumers are really carefully examining their quality, durability, and comfort of footwear, and then they are actually comparing this factor to price much more closely. Thirdly, limited edition products are and brand collaboration continue to play a vital role. I think that this is really, really important. This strategy remains strong differentiator that brands use to simulate demands in competitive market. Finally, while the costs are low, such as low materials and logistic remains are very much challenging, significant price hikes are unlikely. But this is because consumers are highly resistant to really sharp increase in footwear prices, given the current consumption climate. So I think we really have to, steady or moderate price increases as well. So women's footwear, I just really want to really touch up on women's because I know that women's really influence men's apparel and footwear in fashion general. So I just want to really double click onto the women's footwear here. And I think that first, we see dominance of comforts in women's footwear. There has been a dramatic shift from the traditional high heel to sneakers and flat and knit loafer. These trends is really driven the growth of casual comfort segments. Second, function has become the new fashion driver. Consumers are demanding products that successfully combining functionality, such as walkings and joggings with a style design. This shift really creates a new opportunity for high-tech, footwear brands. Finally, we cannot really ignore the unwavering demands for luxury. Affluent, consumers continue to demand strong purchase power, sustaining demand for premium products such as luxury flats, sandals, and designer boots. And I think that I just really wanted, I know my presentation is really very short and to summarize everything on the corporate side, but I just want to make sure that everyone, wanted to take the key message here. So to summarize, there are the key takeaways from today's presentations. First, the dominance of comfort and casual footwear undeniable. And secondly, consumers value quality and functionality over price. And third, the market is shifting towards to high digital first approach with offline provide a unique brand experience. I think when we think about the next step, looking at had what are the next steps for entering the Korean market strategically. First, partnering, collaborating with the Korean brands and distributors who really deeply understand the local D2C and landscape of the retail. So will be really necessary. And then product alignment, developing a focused collection, premium casual comfort footwear will be really help leverage your brand's qualities and Korean market. Thirdly, I think the launching limited edition collaboration will really create immediate buzz and justify a premium price point as well. So just close my presentations. Overall, Korean footwear market presents both challenges and opportunity. With the right partner and tell the products and collaboration strategy, brand can really successfully capture consumers' attentions and achieve the sustained growth. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for everyone for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that presentation. Very interesting. I will quickly change to Portuguese, if you allow me. Queria agora abrir o espaço para perguntas e respostas. Se tiverem alguma pergunta, por favor, escrevam aqui no chat e depois nós vamos tentar responder. Enquanto preparamos essa logística, eu gostava de partilhar convosco algumas informações sobre o contexto deste webinar. Como saberão, a APICAPS tem organizado um showcase em Seul. Já tivemos 3 edições, temos tido apenas empresas de calçado a participar, gostávamos de ter também empresas do Cenit connosco. E basicamente o que nós temos feito, eu tenho aqui uma pequena apresentação para vos mostrar, só para terem uma ideia do que é este showcase que nós temos feito na Coreia e que vamos repetir agora em janeiro. Portanto, nós temos feito um showcase no COEX, é um espaço em Seul, onde fazemos 3 dias de exposição. Já fizemos 3 edições, começámos em julho do ano passado, fizemos 2 edições este ano. Temos levado cerca de 1 dúzia de empresas portuguesas a expor. Nós fazemos este showcase em Seul em paralelo com o Italian Fashion Days, um evento organizado pela EMI, portanto pelos italianos, há já muitos anos, e que inclui expositores de calçado, vestuário e acessórios. Portanto, estamos nas mesmas datas e no mesmo local que os nossos concorrentes italianos. Como tinha dito, já tivemos 3 edições. O espaço é dividido entre os italianos e os portugueses, e queria-vos mostrar apenas algumas imagens do que tem sido, portanto, o showcase. Isto é o espaço português. Podem ver o tipo de stand e exposição que nós fazemos. É algo muito clean, que funciona muito bem e que tem tido uma receptividade muito boa, quer de expositores, quer de visitantes. Como eu tinha dito, cada empresa, temos tido cerca de 11, 12 empresas por edição, cada empresa tem um espaço com estas prateleiras onde podem fazer a exposição dos seus produtos e têm uma areazinha reservada para falar com os visitantes. O Sr. Lee, que está aqui na chamada, tem sido um dos nossos parceiros, tem-nos ajudado nesta abordagem ao mercado coreano, e também temos localmente o apoio da Apparel News, um meio de comunicação dedicado à moda, à calçado e a vestuário. Portanto, algumas imagens que queria partilhar convosco, e aproveitaria para já vos dar conhecimento das datas da próxima edição. Portanto, nós pretendemos voltar a Seul de 28 a 30 de janeiro. Estas são também as datas em que o Italian Fashion Days vai decorrer. Manteremos a mesma localização no COEX, sendo que desta vez pretendemos, para as empresas que se juntarem a nós para Seul, fazer uma extensão também a Tóquio e na semana seguinte fazer um showcase similar de 4 a 6 de fevereiro. Será a primeira abordagem estruturada neste formato ao mercado japonês. E o que pretendemos fazer desta vez, que não temos feito nas outras edições, é ter aqui um trabalho complementar com cada uma das empresas que se inscrever para fazer o showcase, quer na Coreia, quer no Japão, e poder, em parceria com os nossos colegas e os nossos parceiros locais, estruturar um perfil da empresa, tentar encontrar quem poderão ser os visitantes mais adequados para cada empresa. Portanto, as empresas que se inscreverem no showcase de Seul, até à data limite que nós definimos, poderão usufruir deste serviço de consultoria com o Sr. Lee, com a Apparel News, para tentar identificar clientes que sejam mais alinhados com o tipo de produto que a empresa levará à exposição. Temos um serviço de consultoria também similar para o showcase no Japão e gostaríamos muito de, nesta edição, ter, além de empresas portuguesas, empresas do restante segmento da moda. Da minha parte era isto, eram umas questões assim mais da logística. Qualquer informação adicional que precisem, estamos disponíveis aqui, sejam à vontade para entrar em contacto comigo. Eu iria rapidamente só ver se existe aqui algumas questões que precisemos de endereçar. Ok, tenho aqui uma pergunta. So switching back to English, I have a question here. So someone was asking, and I think Mr. Lee already added a response. Someone was asking if, from a cultural point of view, it is acceptable to directly approach a buyer. And Mr. Lee was saying that is perfectly acceptable to directly communicate with the buyers. I think these cultural differences are very important in this kind of approach to a market that is very different from our experience. I think it was very relevant to go through the presentations, and there were very useful tips here for the Portuguese companies who want to address the Korean market. I have one question, and I'll wait for you speakers who want to respond. What in Korea, what role is played by social networkers and influencers? Because at the moment, here we have a lot of input from that area, and a lot of brands are doing partnerships with influencers, and especially the young generations are very much into social networks and following many influencers and making their decisions based on what they see there. Can you shed some insights about the Korean market? Is this similar there as well? And it's not addressed to anyone in particular.
Yeah, I'll just briefly answer the question. As you see, social media is very important in Korea, especially for young generation. So nowadays, many fashion brands, they are communicating with their consumers using their Instagrams and Facebook, but they, as far as I know, they put more resource for Instagram to promote their brands. So if we have a showcase, I think it is also a good idea to promote your brand of exhibitors in advance. We have a showcase in Seoul.
Thank you.
I would like to add something.
Thank you, Laura. Please.
I think the way I see it is that there is different segments, right? There is the generation, the younger generation, and then the older generation, as one of the speakers divide the segments 30 to 40s, 40 to 50s. But for example, I don't buy in the same way that 30s buy, right? So I see the influencer is very important. So what kind of influencer, because the younger, they use another kind of influencing that it might not appeal me. So you need to focus on your brand. What kind of audience do you want to attract? And then choose the influencer. The influencer role is very important. And then when they come to Korea, they can see that the influencer marketing, and especially the niche influencer marketing, meaning that the kind of influencer that they have a smaller following, but has a higher conversion. That one is the one that is super trendy now, even though, there is the coffee shops and they say that they pay BTS. I mean, they can afford that, right? But a smaller brand would afford that? Probably not. So we will be thinking about marketing influencer for more niche but high converting audience.
Okay, perfect, Laura. Thank you.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
can I
of
add
course.
one more thing? I think I think it's great to hear the questions and all the answers, but because I'm managing the brand, now is demographic consumer segmentation is then it's less important than like segmenting of lifestyle. So for instance, we don't really talk about age not much compared to previous seasons or year. Now it's more about how the lifestyles is built, who is really interested in leisure or who is really interested in more like the city life, things like that. So now it's age like difference is more blurry. It's just more concept of your lifestyle or mindset. I think that's something really different approach nowadays.
Okay. Thank you so much. So I have another question here. And basically, I have a question about the retail channels. So, from your experience, which retail channels would be more relevant for an European brand that wants to position itself as a high-level brand in the Korean market? Any insight on that? You already mentioned a few in your presentation.
Right. So I don't think that we cannot really answer as a simple yes or no or online and offline. I think as a brand, you have to really decide what are your priority. I think a European premium brands that have actually it is really important to tell the story and then really feel the quality and design in person rather than really speaking about some other brands and online. So I would suggest starting with the offline experience and then expand it into influencer, connecting with influencer or connecting with the different marketing tools on online. So if you are targeting premium in more high qualities, and I would expect to be in offline retail spaces first to start with.
Okay. Thank you. I have a final question, and it's in regards to the following up that our exhibitors are doing with the visitors of our showcases. So, what advices do you have for them in terms of, obviously, Laura already mentioned that it's very important to kind of respond straight away as quickly as possible, send all the information, but is there anything else that the companies should be aware to when they are communicating with the visitors to ensure that they will get a reply and that when sending the emails or the Kakao messages and so on, their message is actually efficient?
So I'm gonna tell you what I saw, right? So I understand, I can see the question. So this is something that I think Mediterranean, we do in the peninsula. This is like giving the information, like if it's like, I give you a little bit, and then if you're interested, and I'll give you more, right? Korean buyers and in general, I cannot say specifically, but in general, they like to receive all the information. So they see that already, and then they choose from there, right? And when I'm seeing is like, for example, 3, and then the logistics or the translation of the what is trendy or some information that it adds value to the team, that you are sending to. Also, it's very important to who you are sending to will make a difference. So, for example, that person said, I make some contacts. Let's evaluate what kind of contacts. Is that agent or is a niche, like somebody who introduced brands to another bigger brand, or is the big brand itself, right? And the role that it plays in different like for example, the position, the hierarchy is also very important. And then it needs a long time. So for example, you send it, maybe you will not say like, hey, I sent you an email last week. Did you see that? No, but maybe you write the article in somewhere and you say, hey, mira, I contributed in this article. Maybe it might be interested for you, for your market. Something like this, you know? It's a way to engage, not too aggressive, not too passive. But the way I think in the peninsula, we are a little bit dry. Okay, this is the feedback we get all the time. We are very dry. So we need to soft these kind of shapes a little bit in the way to communicate. And don't give up, okay? It's just timing. Your timing might not be the buyer timing or the introducer or the person who is introducing the brand, you know, representative of some brands, right? So we need to find the timing, and that's very important.
Okay. Thank you very much. So some more questions coming up. One question here was about the importance of referring the made in Portugal in the labeling. And Mr. Lee already said that Korean consumers prefer to see made in EU, that reference adds value to the label. So, and another question is from a company who produces in private label, if I understood correctly, textiles, and they are asking if you have any advices on the way they can approach Korean brands who are interested in private label in doing private label in Portugal. So if there's any other advices besides what we already mentioned here, if anyone has any tips, thank you very much.
I have an idea that it actually maybe works. I don't know what you know, from LFS, so she might think, but in data, you know, there is the white label, black label, and some other label. Every label has different kind of origin, and everybody knows this. Like, for example, this one is made in Turkey, this one is made in Spain, this one is made in China. So as a buyer, and if you watch TikTok or Instagram, this is all about it, you know, and then the consumer, also the buyer, they can see where it's produced. So seeing made in Portugal has more value than seeing in other place in the world. You know, we can imagine where it is. So putting it and then maybe like kind of standardize this, you know, it could be interesting. I think something that also the buyers or the consumers, they like is the flag thing. I think like before was Germany. Now, you know, when people say shoes made in, for example, in Spain, there's a Spanish flag. So I think the flag thing kind of boost a little bit, you know, because Koreans, again, they are very picky in not this exactly what it's made from, is especially trying to avoid one region in particular. So that's why the origin, and we put all in the label. When we sell something, it's by law, you need to put the origins. So that's why it's important at the end of the day, EU, Portugal, or the origin.
And
Thank you,
I want
Laura.
I want to add one thing, because as Joanna already received it after last edition, the showcase in Seoul, we had a short survey for the buyers, which part they were interested and they were satisfied. And some of the buyers, they are saying that they were satisfied when they find some private labels manufacturer when they offer buyer some options for the private labels, things like the colors of the leather or color of the zippers or some decoration. So when he looks apparently a private label buyer, I think it's better. You had better offer some options for your design and production.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Thank you very much. So I don't think we have any further questions. So I would first would like to say thank you very much to all the speakers. This was a very interesting presentations, a lot of insights. I have been to Korea 3 times with the showcase, and this was very interesting for me. A lot of new things to digest and incorporate in our work. So thank you very much for your time and for your presence here today. I'm going to now Switch to Portuguese, sorry. Muito obrigada a todos por terem estado presentes. Penso que foi um webinar muito interessante, com contributos muito relevantes destas pessoas que vivem e trabalham na Coreia e que nos deram aqui algumas dicas muito importantes. Se tiverem algumas dúvidas que surjam depois, estejam à vontade para nos contactar aqui na Pickups, através do CENIT. Relembro as datas do showcase na Coreia, será de 28 a 30 de janeiro, com a extensão na semana seguinte, 4 a 6 de fevereiro, no Japão. Se tiverem dúvidas, estejam à vontade. Muito obrigada por terem assistido e um bom dia.